Hi, I'm out in the garden. So for our third week's video, we're going to be doing blackberries. So I just want to let you see them right here. So we have a line of blackberries, a wall actually, pretty good. We have the wall of blackberries. We just have one wall. We don't have two, and it goes from our gate to a couple feet away from the edge of the hoop house. So flowers, the white flowers, those are the blackberry flowers. They're going to turn into blackberries. So we have a lot of flowers over here. Hope you can see them. See, they are very well viney. They have a lot of vines in them, so they can reach up to all the way over there. My height's like about right here, not all the way up there. So they can get really high. Only our dad will be able to pick the ones up all the way up there. So the white flowers are going to turn into blackberry fruit in 1 or 2 weeks, I think. And bees like them. I've seen a lot of bugs and bees on them, getting pollen from them, pollinating them. So the vines up there are the ones that have flowers. Those ones are the ones that started growing last year. So those ones are ones that have started growing last year. And these ones right here, these ones are the ones that are going to start growing this year. Next year, the vines that have flowers up here, next year they will die. And then these ones right here will be the ones that have lots of vines, and those will have the flowers. So, just wanted to show you our blackberries so that you could just see them. Maybe get an idea what the flowers look like. So we're going to be painting a pea flower and a blackberry flower for our third week's video. So the peas are in our hoop house. We've got a 10, no, I don't think this is 10 feet high. I'm not sure. We've got two lines of them, columns, of peas. The left side isn't doing very well. It doesn't have it that much, but the right side is doing really good, super thick. So the peas that we have growing here have purple flowers. Though you can make your flower of a pea, you can make white, pretty white ones. They have purple flowers, and they're going to get purple peas. I'll show you. See, that is one of them. It's only about this small, but it's going to get to be like this big. So they can get pretty big. So these ones climb up to 10 feet high, I think it says. So they will get pretty tall. I think this might be sorry, it's windy, so that's why they're blowing over. This one, I think this is how high they will be. I think this is how high they will get this year, though. Next year, they might get higher. So this is our hoop house with the pea columns. I just wanted to show you so that you can get an idea of the pea flowers. So we're going to be painting a pea flower and a blackberry flower. I'll tell you some more about peas and blackberries when I start my next video. Keeper sent me his drawing of a chicken. Isn't it great? Hi. So, for third week's video, we're going to be doing a pea flower and a blackberry flower. We're going to learn about them, and we're going to be painting them along with the leaves. So I brought some from the garden here to show you. The blackberry petals are sort of falling off because the middle part is going to become blackberries. Just wanted to show you some of them so that we can paint them. Or if you have markers, you can draw them. Or if you have crayons, you
you could draw them too. And so these are the leaves of the peas. These grab onto the strings so they climb here. And then this is a pea flower. Okay, so we'll put these right here. I hope you can see them. Check if you can see them. Good. Okay, so if you've been watching my previous week's videos, then you will know how to divide your paper. You can use a pen or a pencil. I prefer to use a pencil, even though sometimes most of the time I use pens. The lines aren't straight, they don't have to be, because no one can do a perfectly straight line. So down here, in the left top hand corner, you are going to write observations. And then in this corner right here, I'm going to write facts. I will tell you something about the blackberries, and you can write down here. And then you fill in your observation as we go through the video. And then up here, we are going to write the name of what we're going to paint. But first, write your name up in the top right-hand corner of the whole piece of paper. There. So I'm going to be doing some blackberry flowers and a pea flower. You can do one or you can do two. The pea flowers are the hardest, so I think I'm probably just going to do one of those. In fact, I've never even painted or drawn one yet in my whole life. I don't think so, at least. So up here, you're going to write blackberries and peas. I'll tell you, you can't really paint the whole blackberry plant because it's so long and it can get so tall, more than 10 feet tall, and it's so viney. It's just like a big vine, leaves and flowers and blackberries on it. So we're just going to paint the flower. Okay, so write blackberries and peas up here. So I just read it up there. I'm sorry, I haven't looked up the Latin name for them. So maybe you can look it up on your computer at home or ask your mom or dad what it is. I forgot to look it up, so I'm sorry. You can write it, you can save some space on top and write it if you have a computer or phone, or you can look it up at, or use your mom and dad's. Okay, so now we're going to get started on our flowers. For our flowers, I'm going to use a pencil. Should use a pencil. Mine doesn't have a too good eraser. Try to get one that does for you. Pencil that will draw, that it doesn't have the lead that's broken. And you can draw your flowers first. I like to draw them first with a pencil because then if I make a mistake, I can always erase it. With a pen, you can't. So we're going to draw it with a pencil first. So that's just going to, for me, that is going to be the green sepals right here. Let's see. mine isn't good at all. You can probably do better. So you just do your best. No man, woman, child can do better than their best. So I'm going to do that for my flower. I'm not going to try to draw two. No. And these right here are what pea leaves look like. These are the things that grab onto the netting or string. Okay? So I'm going to go. Let me see. The funny thing is, on each side there's one. It's like an exact pattern. It's so funny, but I like them. See, so we're going to draw that. You can also draw the veins. The veins are these lines in them. There's one down the middle. Draw that. And then there's just lots of tiny ones coming out that way. Then lots of ones like this. See, like that. They might not look as good as this and the leaf because mine sure don't. Because these are so like faint, but with the pencil I can't make them very faint. So I could try to make them faint like that. Okay, so that's going to be my pea plant. We are going to paint it in once we've drawn all of our flowers. So now the blackberry plant. There's usually 5 or more buds or flowers clustered together on a stem like this. So the blackberry leaves are pointy like this on the edges. But they aren't sharp, they're just pointy. They always are 3 together. And then flowers, most of the time the petals fell off a lot, so I'm going to make mine with not all the petals on it. If all the petals are on it, I think they have 6 or 5 petals. So the petals fall off when the middle is getting bigger to become a blackberry. This one right here was going to become a blackberry in 1 week, maybe a couple days, 1 week. So, but I picked him, but we have a lot more. Okay, so let me see. It's pointy leaves, 3 in a row. My shapes are not very good. This side's looking better. But still, I sort of like them. Oh, that one isn't good. Because there's some of my leaves. So you can, if you want to make yours perfect, you can go a little longer, make them some more. This one right here isn't very good at all. I wish I didn't sort of like these ones. And they don't really look like blackberry leaves, but I'm satisfied as long as I made some leaves. Okay, so let me see. So those are going to be where I'm going to make my flowers. Flowers have sepal. If you've watched my other episodes, you know what they are. They're these green things right here. Those are pea sepals. So you can draw some of them like that too. Here are my sepals for one of my buds. I'm going to do a bud. So this is going to be a blackberry bud that's going to open from like sort of like this. And then I'm just going to draw. So they have a hole like this, and then lots of little things over the side. I'm just going to do lots of little dots for these things around the middle. And then I'm going to draw flowers. You know how some of the petals fall, some of the petals fall off, so this one's just going to have 3 petals. Let me see. And then I'll make some more. One, 2. I'll make 2 petals in that one, and the next one I'll have all 5, I think. See, so there are my flowers. In this video, if I'm going too fast for you, you just hit pause on your computer, and that'll stop it till you can catch up again. So I've done those. Now we're just going to write a little bit in the facts, and then we can start painting. If you have paint in the house, you can use it. I advise watercolor, but you can use guac too, but I use watercolor. And if you have crayons and markers, you can just color them in along with me when we're going to paint the flower. I'm going to use watercolor. It might look different from yours, but I'm going to use watercolor. You can use crayons or markers or colored pencils or guac, which is another kind of paint. A kind of paint that isn't like, well, you don't really have to get your paintbrush wet to get it. It's sort of weird. I've never used it. Well, Mom has a tube of it. I've only used it once, so that's how I know. Okay, so in the facts, let's see. Most of the time they have 5 petals. You can write, most of the time they have 5 petals. Let's see. The petals fall off, and the middle gets bigger till it gets a blackberry. You can write that in it too. Also, that blackberries have sharp. Well, they look like sharp. I don't know. It looks like the edge of a saw leaves. So I'm going to save half of it for peas. Half of the space to write about peas, pea flowers. Most of the time they have 5 petals. Let's see. The middles become blackberries. Blackberries. So I don't have too much space in my facts, because I have to save half of it for the pea flowers, because we're doing those 2. So I'm going to tell you some more about blackberries once we've written in some pea facts. Okay, so let's see. Pea flowers can be almost any color, I think. I've never seen a blue one though. Let's see. Peas can get over to 15 feet tall. I know that because ours are 10 feet and they can get over to 15 feet tall. It says on the packet of seeds. So, you can write that. And also the leaves. There's a leaf on one side, there's a leaf exactly in the same spot on the other side. And they have, at the top of well, these things, they climb. They're like a vine. So, let's see. They don't have petals. They're sort of weird shapes. But if you would count them as these as petals, they have 4 of them, always 4. So I'll just write, peas have 4 petals. Okay, now let's see. Yeah, they can get up to 15 feet high. Peas can get up to... pea flowers can be any colors, I think. Wait a minute, let's see. Well, I'm not sure, but I know they can be purple and white. Because Mom has some white ones, and the whole family has some purple ones. So pea flowers can be white and purple. I really wish that we had, I wish we had more space in our facts, so we can just stop there for that. You probably know something about blackberries. Blackberries can be black. And then something really funny I looked up is there are white blackberries. White blackberries? It's sort of funny. They look weird too. They look exactly like blackberries except, well, black blackberries, except they are white. They could call them white berries, but they call them white blackberries. It's funny. Okay, so in peas, let me think of something else that you can write about if you have more room. I just have a tiny bit. Yeah, if there is one leaf on one side, there's one in the exact same place on the other side. Okay, you can write that. I don't have room to write that in mine, so we can just get on with the painting. Start painting. Okay, I'm satisfied with my flowers, so I'm not going to erase anything. Now I'm going to get my paint. I have watercolor paint, and if you use watercolor paint, I prefer to use a kind of paper that's thicker than just normal paper for watercolor, because watercolor is wet. If you use other kind of paper, it might rip. So I have my paints out here. I really only need, let me see. In fact, I just need one blue, one yellow, and purple, let's see. And then I don't have red, so I have a pink, and well, I guess this is sort of red. So I'll just keep these colors over here and use these, because these are the basic colors that everyone usually has. Green, blue, yellow, this isn't really red, pink, and purple. Because I have to use my purple because there are purple pea flowers. And the blackberries are white flowers, so you can just use them, leave them white maybe. The bud looks a little pink to me, so I might add just a tiny bit of pink and paint them water. Just use water for them with a tiny bit of pink. Okay, so we can get painting. Flowers, are the flowers are white, purple, and leaves are green and the stems are green. And the sepals like this and that are green for the flowers, same color as the stem and the leaves. Okay, so you can get painting. If I'm going too fast for you, press pause on your computer until you are ready to do it. Start it again. Oops. My pea petals are not petals, leaves are a little bit too green, I think. Oops. Did that, but now they're lighter, so I think it's fine. Get some water here. Some pine green. I don't do mine perfect. And I like mine when they're not perfect, when they go off the lines or something, because I've got a pretty big brush, so. Let's see. Need some darker green for the blackberries. The blackberries have darker leaves than peas. Oops. See, I didn't got that on my wrist, but it's okay. Let's see. So I've got the stems. I've got to do the leaves. I'll do the leaves. Make it a little bit lighter. Okay. See, doing all the green stuff before I do the flowers, because painting the flowers is the most fun. And usually I like to save the best for last. Now you can try to get the green out of your brush. I use water. Sometimes if the water's green too, it doesn't help very much, but okay, yeah, I guess that works. It'll have to work. So let me see, is that still wet? Yes, it's still wet, but I can still paint it, I guess. I'm going to use a lighter purple for I'm going to use like a pink for the inside petals, if you call them that, then like purple for the outside petals. Okay, so let me see. I don't have very good purple at all, so, oh yes, so red and blue can make a purple, so that you know, in case you don't have any purple. I have purple, but it isn't a very good purple at all, so, yeah, it's too much like a dark purple. Let me add some pink to it. I like that, it's getting better. Better and better, yeah, so I like that. Just a tiny bit more pink. So now it's more like pinkish purple. I'll do that for the outside, and then I'll do my bright pink for the inside. And then the very middle of it right there is just it's mostly white, actually. The flowers are white, but the inside of them is sort of green, a light green. I'm going to mix a green and a yellow together, make a yellow-green. I got my watercolor paints out of their container. Let's see. It's easier to... Oh, well, yes, this is actually pretty good. Just make it a little bit more dark green. Tiny bit more yellow. There, I like that. That'll work for the insides of them. It's not the same as the leaf color. Leaf is too dark for them. It's just like a yellow-green, even though it's more green than yellow. Looks like it isn't a yellow-green too much, I guess. But, there. And I'll just leave the petals, I'll just get at the very tip of my brush, tiny, tiny, tiny bit of pink. See at the tip of my brush? I'll dip my brush in the water, go like that, and paint them. Because if you have a tiny bit of color in it, then it looks like it's white still. So you have to have a tiny bit of color. Let me see, just a tiny, tiny bit of green. looks more green. Okay, I'm gonna get a tiny bit of pink and rinse it in water. Oops. Well, my pencils look sort of pink. But you can have fun and make them any color you want. In fact, you don't just have to make it realistic. You can just have fun, use any color you want. So I'm going to make these petals pink for mine. But you can make them, just leave them white if you want to make it realistic. Okay, so I've done that. Now for the pea flower. I still haven't done the inside with my bright pink. My bright pink is very bright pink. Okay, so I think that's probably dry enough. See, it is pretty bright pink. I think it's pretty. I'll just leave that white, I guess. Okay, so hi. So my painting is dried. So now we are going to use a pen to go over the details. So you can use a Sharpie pen like this, or you can just use any pen that you have in your house, and you can just go over the details that you want to in it. Like, for instance, you can do the veins in black pens so that you can see them better, like that. So you can get a black pen and you can just go over it. You can do whatever you want in the details. So, you've gone over the details. If you want to paint over something, then you're welcome to paint over something that you didn't get to paint last time. You're welcome to go and do it right now. So that's about all we need to do today. I'm so glad you could watch this video. I can't wait till next week.